Hello. Hello. What's going on? Um, so it's a gaming stream. I'm normally out raving on a Saturday, but this weekend I have the weekend off from dancing. So I'm trying to find. Oh, there it is. Lone Wolf Online. There we go. Yeah. So I've been trying to find my Lone Wolf character sheet. And I've now found it. I've got to make some changes. There's a few things in the rules I did wrong last time. For example, from books 6 to 11, bearing in mind I'm now on book 11, you can add a weapon. You can add a combat skill, like a weapon skill. Each one. Now I've got broadsword +2. That's one. I've got a bow +3, but I already had the broadsword as a skill right near the beginning. I got the bow got added later, right? So that means that there's 4 other weapons that I can add to have a skill in. So, which will give me a +3. So if I close this for a second and get us onto the book here. Here we go. These are the weapons in question. So 4 of them, in addition to the broadsword and the bow. And I now have a +3 skill in those. So broadsword used to just be +2, but it's +3 now. So my endurance is now healed up to 35. My combat skill with a broadsword is 23. Okay. So the other weapons I'm going to choose. By the way, if you're joining me in the chat, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate this is not the most exciting stream, but if you want to hang out with me, you'd be very welcome. So I'm going to choose a spear because that seems to come up quite a bit. And I'm going to choose a dagger because often we end up with daggers when we've lost everything else. Okay, dagger. So I've got 2 other weapons I can choose. Spear, dagger, broadsword, and bow. So I've got mace, short sword, warhammer, axe. I'm going to choose an axe because that seems to come up quite a bit. And should I just choose a regular sword or quarterstaff? You know what? I'll be a Gandalf. Let's go with quarterstaff. All right. Okay. So I've got various other skills here already. Oh, hang on. I think there was something at the end there that I wanted to read. Let's just go back one. If you successfully completed the mission as set in book 11. Hang on a minute. Which book is this? Prisoners of Time. I think this is a typo. If you successfully complete the mission as set in book 11 of the Lone Wolf, you may add a further discipline of your choice. So that should say book 10. onto your action chart. So I can add an additional skill in addition to the one for each of the Magna-Chi level I've completed, each of which gets you an additional weapon skill, maybe used in it, which is called right. Okay, but that same rule would apply in the previous book. So, okay. So which of these don't I have? I've got divination. I don't have nexus. So shall we get that? I think we should. Let's get nexus. I've got size surge, size screen, prevents you from losing, and great increases your defense. The ability to start using their mind force. I'm actually going to get a size screen because I have a feeling, I don't have that, I have a feeling that's going to be relevant in this kind of weird, slightly dystopian world that we're going to be going into. All right, fine. So that's my additional skill. Just check the chat quickly. There's no one watching. Okay, all right, good. Well, that's going to cheer me up. I've got 0 people watching. It's fucking brilliant. The important thing is the taking part. Oh dear. Random number table. Don't need the random number table. I do need the combat chart though, which is presumably on here. We'll find that in a minute. Rules for combat. I'm aware of the rules for combat. I don't need that. Evasion of combat. Rules of Magna-Chi training. Summary of the combat rules. That's what I want. Combat results table. That's it. Thank you very much. Get that. Let's open that on a different page. Very good. And we'll go back. Levels of Magna-Chi training. Yeah. I'm not sure what level I am at the moment, actually. I've no idea. I think I'm either a Principalin or a Mentora, but I'm really not sure. Okay, begin the Lone Wolf Magna-Chi. So that's book 6, and I'm on book 11. So I know at some point I was tutelary, so maybe we'll go with Principalin because I'm really just not sure. So how many of the circles have I completed? Circle of Fire is weapon mastery, which I do have, and hunting, which I do have. So I've completed the Circle of Fire. Okay, what does that get me? Okay, well, actually, let me write this down first. Circle of Fire. Listed below for watching Martin was complete then. Circle of Fire gives you +2 endurance points and +1 combat skill. Okay, so that means my current endurance now is 37. Okay, good. Higher is better. All right. Just doing the right dog's dinner of the typing here. You know, caps all in the wrong direction and so on. Currently 37 because it gets rejuvenated at the end of the last book. Let's see what else I've got. Circle of Solaris, invisibility, hunts mastery, and pathmanship. I have pathmanship. I have hunts mastery, but I don't have invisibility. Psi surge, psi screen, nexus, and divination. Right, so I've got all of them except for nexus. That's a shame, isn't it? Because Circle of Spirit gets you +3 of each, which would be a nice. So I want to choose nexus next time because that's gonna take me there, isn't it? Yeah, and perhaps invisibility at some point. Okay, so I've completed 2 of the 4 circles. I've still got no one watching, so I'm just talking to myself here. Improve disciplines. Let's check this again. As you rise, if you reach the rank of primate, tutory 5 skills, principal 6 skills, mentor 7, benefit from the following. Right. When entering a combat without weapon, lose only 2 instead of 4. Okay. Invisibility. Detect an enemy. That's useful. Okay. All right. I'm still not sure what level I am. We're going to go with Prince of Paladin, I think. I can extinguish a fire by Will of Force alone if I had Nexus, which I don't have. Still not watching, so I'm just talking to myself here. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot to. Someone watching. I forgot to fucking repost the stream, didn't I? I haven't posted it anywhere yet. Oh dear. Okay, Lance, go on. Sort it out, mate. What's going on? Okay. Well, we'll do that. We'll do that now then, shall we? We'll do that now. Yeah. So. Hello, mate. Well, it's not a particularly exciting stream. I'm playing a choose your own adventure book. I'm normally out and about on a Saturday. I'm not normally in doing streams. But we had the film premiere with the Critical Drinker on Thursday. I've had quite a busy week, so I didn't fancy going out this weekend. Very nice of you to pop in, mate. Thank you very much. I normally do interviews on my channel with like famous people and stuff like that, but I am also a bit of a gamer, and I have a series of choose your own adventure books that I played as a kid, but I only got up to book 10, and this is the quest to finish the rest of the books. In fact, I've replayed the whole series from the beginning. I finally got to book 11. This is book 11, so this is going to be the first time I've played a new book in this series. Will be the first time today. So I'm just checking I've got all the stuff correct, because I think I got a few rules wrong and I made the game somewhat harder for myself. Suddenly there's lots of people popping in. We've got 5 people in now. Okay, all right. Your visit to the Twilight World of how do you say that? Of the Dazanan will be fraught with supernatural dangers as you search for the 2 remaining lore stones. Be on your guard at all times. Okay. For even the laws of nature are strange and unstable. Make notes as you progress through this story, for they will be of great help, both in the quest and in the ultimate Magna Chi adventure which follows it. Many things that you find will help you during your mission. Some special items will be of use in future books. Oh yeah, okay, I know all that stuff. Okay, future of Magna, blah, blah, blah. Due to the unavoidable difficult combats in this book, it is practically impossible for new or average characters to complete this adventure successfully. Even a character with the optimal choices of equipment and disciplines and the highest possible scores for combat skill and endurance will have a difficult time with this adventure. Oh, well, thanks for that. Cheers. Mr. Spoons! Good to see you. How are you? Apparently this adventure is really hard and I'm going to die quite a lot, apparently. That's fun, isn't it? It's good to know. Where's my dice rolling app got to? There it is. I have it. Just trying to make sure I've got everything sorted before we start this time, because I made a bit of a dog's dinner of it last time. Off the cover, are you a YouTuber? Have you got a channel? If you have, let me know. Or maybe you're someone who reviews comic books, it sounds like, perhaps with a name like that. Let me know, mate. I'm all about collaboration, so maybe get you on here. Not on this stream, obviously, but get you on my regular weekly chat stream, which is a bit busier than this. Right, okay. So Prisoners of Time. Here we go. All right, I'm just gonna get a drink. Oh no, mate, I got rid of that a couple of weeks ago. I got rid of that ages ago. That was just in the first week of January, so that's well gone now. You're thinking of this time last year, Wormy, when I had the one that lasted 5 months. Section 1. Okay, all right, we're gonna start. I'm gonna refill my drink. Let me do that quickly, and then I'll begin. Silly voices included for free. All right, okay, back with milk and cookies. Well, milk anyway. Here we go. That's good. My audience too are still here. Okay, was the opening for All in Good Time? Yeah, it was good. I mean, it's a one-off screening. It's not it's what you call a premiere. So yeah, it was good, mate. Seemed to go down very well. Drinker and I were certainly kept busy at the meet and greet, and you know, it was good. It was good hoot. It was nice. Nice time. Okay, so just to recap, I got dragged into this kind of abyss at the end of the last book, and it was all very like special effects, and all sense of time and space is lost as you plunge headlong into the whirling black throat of the abyss. Only a numbing chill and a mournful sound, like a million voices crying in despair, accompany you on your descent into the unknown. Gradually your mind is filled with fearful visions, nightmare shapes that reach out of the darkness to claw and bite and scream at your passing. But you don't give a fuck, because you're Lance, you're hard, you're the hard lone wolf warrior. You tell them, fuck off. They grow in menace until they are swiftly dispelled by demon-shaped motes of light which streak past at incredible speeds. The tiny light engulfs you in a cone of fiery brilliance, and a metallic smell of ozone, sharp and pungent, assails your nostrils. A sensation of warmth surges through your frozen limbs. Then, an instant later, you strike solid ground with such a suddenness that you are left stunned and panting for breath. Tony Down Under. How's it going indeed? I'm quoting this book here. This is a choose your own adventure. You're going to get to hear me do a lot of silly voices and also play a game at the same time in which you can partake and help me make the choices. Or you can go and watch something less boring because I appreciate it might be a bit boring. But thank you for popping in though, mate. If you are a subscriber, I do thank you for your support. So pick a number from the random number table. Well, we're not going to do that because we have dice and we can roll them. Let's just do this. We'll share the whole thingammy-gibbony here. Not the entire screen. Just that'll do. Thank you very much. Right, okay, that's the whole lot. Now, if I click onto this, here's our dice app. So we're going to roll a D10. Did that work? No. Oh yeah, roll it down the bottom. That's right. Here we go. So I rolled a 2. All right. Oh, I stream. Yeah, well, of course, because you're from Australia, mate. I might be coming to Australia. I don't know if you're in Sydney, but I'm looking at doing, if I can find a little bit of funding and if I can find some actors that are willing, I might be bringing the making of the Magnificent Seven to Australia for a week. We're looking into it. We're looking into it. We're looking to see if it's doable. So you never know. So let me know if you're in Sydney. Okay, so I rolled a 2. All right. Oh, the number represents the number of endurance points you have lost during your passage through the Shadow Gate. Well, that's okay. That's a nice low number. We like that number. 2 is good. 2 is good. Because my current endurance is 37. So it's currently now 35. Okay, I've adjusted that. Okay, we've now got to turn to page 20. So the other thing that we do, chat, is we log the numbers in here. Oh, well, never mind. Tony, if I get the plane on there, it'll be a good excuse for you to come and visit it, won't it? Right, so we're going from 1 to 20. There we go. Okay. With dread anticipation, you stagger to your feet to survey your new surroundings. A bleak and desolate plateau, seemingly devoid of life, stretches into the distance on all sides. Jagged boulders litter a desert of crimson sand. This sounds like a planet in Star Trek, which is stirred to restless motion by fierce and scorching winds. Neither sun nor moon hang in the amber skies above, yet their absence does not leave this world in darkness, for all along the horizon blazes a fire which glows brighter than 1,000 sunsets. You stare across this alien landscape, and a feeling of helplessness grips your senses as you realize where you have emerged. This is the twilight world of the Darzanian plane. Now, Darzanian, Daznan, I don't know. Not of fear tightens in your stomach as you recall what little you have heard about this world. The magicians of Summerland believe it to be an astral corridor that connects Magnamon with the other planes of existence. So, by passing through a shadow gate, one of the situation. Okay, they say there is no escape from the Daznan. Okay, there's no escape from Daz, and we're going to call it Daz. Okay, all right. Dude, listen, if I'm coming to Australia, trust me, it will be all over my social media videos and everything. You vow to restore the Kai, and your stubborn will to survive against all odds refuse you to let you believe that there is no way back to your homeworld. You cast aside your fear and steel yourself for the task of finding a means of escaping from this desolate place. But first you must recover the 2 law stones that fell into the Shadow Gate shortly before you. If you possess the Magnified discipline of devianation and have reached the rank of tutelary or higher, turn to 145. I do have that, so 145 is where we're going. All right, 145. Here we go. You scan the barren wasteland, straining your senses to detect the missing law stones, which must be somewhere among the millions of rocks, but it proves fruitless. You can find no trace of the law stones, nor even the slightest indication that a shadow gate opened here. Okay, turn to 297. Desert Phoenix, welcome. Turn to 297. All right. I need to do a post about this on the Lone Wolf page. Normally I'm organised and I do all those things, and I completely forgot to do that today. So there we are. Let me just. All right, we'll go to 297. Let's see what's going on there. Looks like I've got a choice to make, people. So you're going to help me make that choice in the chat. Right. Just go. Okay. All right. Let me just do a quick post here. Finally playing the Prisoners of Time. For the first time. I play through. All right. Let me just drop this here. No, that's the dice app. Oh, shit. Oh, dear. Hold on a second. I'll just have to go to my page and get the link for this stream that I'm currently in. Right, there we go. All right. Normal service will return shortly. Oh, do smash that like button. 6 people that are watching. You're too kind. Right, so there we go. Right, so it's book 11, isn't it? Let me put that in there. Book 11. All right. Okay, cool. Dropping that in there. And then any other Lone Wolf fans in Singapore. I think they're going to be asleep, but drop that in there. Okay, and then everywhere in Australia is close to the outback, I think. At least I think so. What do I know? I'm not Australian. Don't listen to me. I don't know anything. Right, okay, here we go. Post. I could have been out dancing today, but I'm doing that for the next 3 weekends in a row, so I'm, pace. Right. The torrid winds sweep across the landscape with increasing ferocity, forcing you to protect your eyes from the gusts of sharp, stinging sand. Ouch. Ooh, ooh. The need to find cover takes priority when you sense that the winds are merely the prelude to a storm. Remain here in the open could prove a fatal mistake. Peering through your fingers, you try and find somewhere to take shelter. To your left, in the middle distance, you can see what appears to be a mound of volcanic stone slabs. To your right, but further away, you notice a shallow gully running lee to the wind. Okay, so what do you reckon? The mound of stones, 212, or do we take shelter in the gully? But remember, the gully is slightly further away. Will I make it to the gully in time? Now, I'm going to tell you now, if we pick the gully, there's going to be a die roll involved, almost certainly. So mound of stones, chat, or the gully? Gully or stones? Stones or gully? Come on, chat. Chime in anytime. This is, by the way, this is the map for the last book, which is of no use whatsoever. Right, I'm gonna see if I can get the map up for this one. Stop talking about Australia and talk about my options. Gully or stones? What are we doing? Wormy? Gully or stones? I'm gonna see if I can get this up. Get the map up here. Gully. 2 votes for gully. It's further away though. Okay. All right. On your heads be it. So we're going 89. Yeah, everyone's voted for gully. All right. The wind tears your clothing as you fight your way slowly towards the distant gully. Your feet sink deep into the hot, shifting sands, transforming the simple act of walking into a hard, painful exertion. After what seems like an eternity, you finally near your goal. You drop to your knees and crawl a few remaining yards towards the shelter of the shallow, rock-strewn trench. Gasping for breath, you bury your head inside your tunic to avoid inhaling a lungful of sand-choked air. Gradually, your pulse steadies and your strength returns. You wait for the storm to subside, but, as if in defiance of your wish, the winds grow ever stronger, whipping the sands into huge cyclones which suck countless tons of debris into their spinning deadly cores. Deadly spinning cores, rather. Fear returns to freeze your heart when the shadow of a raging whirlwind falls across the gully. In blind desperation, you crawl towards a narrow fissure at the far end of the trench, praying that it is an entrance to a cave. This time your prayers are answered. The fissure marks the beginning of a shaft that descends deep into the volcanic rock. But as you draw closer, your hopes for a safe shelter are dampened by a gruesome sight. Uh-oh! Oh dear. Sounds like there's going to be a monster of some sort. We're going to go to 126. Strewn around the entrance to the fissure are bleached and shattered bones of what once was a formidable creature. Nervously, you reach for your weapon as you approach the narrow gap and peer into the lightless depths. A strange smell, sweet and unwholesome, wafts out of the inky blackness and stops you dead in your tracks. But the deafening roar of the approaching tornado makes you swallow your fear and enter. Cautiously, you descend into the dark, your weapon held poised to counter a sudden attack. If you have a Copley fire spear, a lantern, a torch, or a tinderbox and wish to use them, turn to page 61. If you do not possess any of these items but still wish to advance, turn to 313. If you choose not to advance, turn to 236. I can tell you now, I do have one of those. I think I've got the Spear of Copley. Let me have a look. Backpack items, special items. Fire spears. Yeah, Copley fire spears. I do indeed have those. So we're going to 61. Okay, thank you for the 5 people watching. Still sticking it out with me. Appreciate you. Although I think the chap that popped in at the beginning, I may have lost him. He's gone all quiet, off the cover. But if you're still here, sir, thank you very much. Turn 61. Let's see what happens. Sorry, just drinking some more of my milk. The light washes over the rough red walls and illuminates a narrow corridor formed by the violent reddening of the land. Warily you descend, taking care to avoid the deep potholes which riddle the uneven floor, and at length you emerge into a cramped, airless cavern. At that moment, a cacophony of noise surges along the fissure, and the floor shudders and heaves beneath your feet. Then a great blast of dust and debris knocks you off balance as it is sucked out of the cavern by the whirlwind, now raging directly above. The turmoil soon subsides, but as soon as you drag yourself to your feet, you notice that you are not alone. Oh shit. All right. A low, croaking growl from the far side of the cavern, and suddenly 2 slits appear from which a baleful orange light radiates. With bated breath, you watch a shape emerge from the shadows, a long, scaly form with short legs and a lizard-like head. The outline of its body, perfectly camouflaged against the red volcanic rock, pulses like a heartbeat as it awakens from its slumber. It swivels its horny head and fixes with you an alien gaze, its snake-like glittering with malice. Now, before I continue, I'm just grabbing the actual book here. Got the physical thing. I'm just going to lift up my ridiculously huge reading glasses, which I'm not going to present to you for comical entertainment. So here is the actual book. And inside the sleeve of this book, this is just a map of, this is just a map of Magnum, and I thought there might be a map of the Daz plane or the Tasmanian plane, but apparently not. I guess no one's ever charted it before, so I guess that's why we don't get a map. Oh well. Never mind. pop that in. We'll stick that back on the shelf because I'll carry on using this one. Right. Okay. So I do have animal control. Among my many skills, I have animal control and animal kinship. And I've reached them. Yes, I have. So turn to 13. So we're going to 13. Okay. Pick a number and add 1 point to this number for each Magna Chi discipline you possess. Right. Okay. I possess. Hold on. Now I've got to get the list of skills out. Oh my god, this is annoying. I just need all these pages up at different times. So that's the one we want. Right. Let's just off with the errata. Oh, fuck that. Okay. Sorry. Excuse my language. I got to see a pet dragon. Yeah, I haven't fought it yet. Let's I want to make sure I do this correct. Okay, I'm gonna have to grab the book back again. Let me just put it on the shelf. Okay, so the skills. Right, you've got the Chi disciplines, which are the standard ones. Magna Chi disciplines. So that's the various weapon mastery. So weapon mastery would be one of them. Animal control would be another one. Yeah, animal control. Curing is another one, so that's 3. And there are 3 options for curing. Seasoned readers may use the following rule from Lone Wolf in order to balance. Healing is limited to 10. Oh, no, fuck that. I'm going to keep it so it's unlimited because this one's different. Difficult. Right, curing. So animal control, curing, and weapon mastery, that's 3. I don't have invisibility. I've got size surge. I've got size screen. I've got hunt mastery. I've got pathmanship. And I've got deviation, but I don't have nexus. So that's, hang on. So to this die roll, I'm adding quite a lot of numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 4, 5, 6 plus 1 for the weapon, 7. So I'm rolling a dice. I'm adding 7, and then if your total is now 8 or less, if it's 9 or more. Okay, so basically, I want to avoid rolling a 2 or less. No, I want to avoid rolling a 1. All right, as long as I don't roll a 1. Is that a 1 or a 7? Fuck off. Fuck off. This happened last game, man. Every time I had a crucial roll, I fucking failed it. Every time. It's like my life. I might have just died. 271. Beast yawns, exposing a wickedly curved beak and a jaw set with dagger sharp fangs. It snickers evilly. Is that a word? Relishing the thought of killing and devouring you at its leisure. If you possess a bow and wish to use it, turn to 322. I will. Right. Hold on. Yeah, I'm just about to get eaten by a dragon. That's exactly right. Pick a number from the random number table. If you have the weapon mastery, you add the bonus of right, okay, and if your total's right. So, in other words, I've got a roll of dice. I've got add 3 to it. Let me just check I've got any other bow things. I did have the silver bow of Duodon, but whether it's a bit ambiguous as to whether I actually get that back or not, or whether I've got that back. We're going to say I've got it. All right. Because I know doing this one is hard. So I've got +6 with a bow. All right. 4. So I'm adding 6. If your total is now 8 or less, it's not. It's 9 or more. So I'm going to 286. Okay. Your arrow tears into its eye, splitting it open like a burst egg. It ends its flight buried deeply in the creature's brain, bringing death in an instant and sparing the beast the agony of its terrible wound. So in other words, I just killed it in a single blow. Jesus, Lance, get some sleep, mate. Hope the film premiere went well. Looking forward to seeing the film. LLAP. Mate, it's only 11:30 over here. Don't know what time you think it is. And also I got to sleep in nice and late today. Right, so that was 286. We're now going to 245. All right. In the Prisoners of Time. Slowly the slain Kuzinda falls to the cavern floor. How do I know it's one of those? No idea, because I've never been here before. Its broad tail twitching spasmodically. When finally it comes to rest, you approach the carcass and examine more closely this creature of Daznanian. Although the shape of its body appears reptilian, its scales are quite unlike those of any lizard you have seen before. They are thin yet incredibly hard and seem to form a substance more akin to glass than skin or bone. You ponder the origins of this curious beast until eventually the fatigue of your ordeal catches up with you. You must now eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. Unable to resist any longer, you close your sleep and drift into a deep and dreamless sleep. Right, now, I got dragged into a time portal. So technically I have no meals, but I think according to the rules, I'd start with a set number for every adventure. Now, if it says that in this book, then I'm going to have them. But if it doesn't say that, then I will go with having no meals. Let's see. Game rules. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Okay. Checking the rules. Sorry, I know this is tedious. Right. If you have successfully completed any of the previous Lone Wolf adventures, you will already possess equipment and special items which you may now use during your adventure. If this is your first Lone Wolf adventure, you will need to equip yourself with weapons and possessions. You are dressed in a grey tunic. Your backpack contains 2 meals. Right, okay. So I'm just going to say that I've got 2 meals, all right, when I got dragged into because technically I don't think I've got any, but we're going to go with 2. So now I've got 1. So times 2 times 1. Okay, fine. Turn to 264. Right. I know, right? Could have just cooked that dragon. Exactly. Plus it had a nice, squishy eyeball. Surely that's got to be worth something. You wake with a start, stirred to consciousness by the distant flap of large wings beating in a windless sky. Is this like Dad that's turned up? The sound grows louder, and quickly you gather up your equipment and hurry out the cavern to investigate their source. The storm has died down where you slept, and the plateau is now becalmed. From the rim of the gully, you can see 6 black shapes silhouetted on the blazing horizon. They resemble dragons with snaky necks, ragged bat-like wings. Upon their backs, They carry gold-skinned creatures, human in appearance, save for their lack of hair and their massive size. The leader sees you. He banks his dragon mount towards the gully, and the others follow closely in his wake. You fear they are about to attack, but at the last moment they veer away and circle the gully before landing nearby. With practiced ease, the leader and two of his brothers, because obviously I know that now, dismount from their winged steeds. They each dwarf you by an arm's length, and although their heavy muscular bodies seem incapable of stealth, they approach like lions stalking their prey. Zuklu Nunara, speaks the leader in his voice, deep and resonant. Rolana Nunara, says another impatiently. What the fuck are you talking about, I say? If you have the Magna Chi discipline of pathmanship and have attained the Chi rank of Scion Chi, turn to 305. If you do not possess this discipline or have not yet reached this level, I don't think I've got pathmanship anyway, even though the level that I'm at is a bit ambiguous at the moment. So we're going to have to regretfully turn to the less skillful option. 132. You can't understand what these stupid idiots are saying. The being scowl with disdain when you offer no reply. Well, I didn't say I offer no reply. I could have gone blah 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 blah. Their leader draws a silver rod from inside his Cassandra scale vest, levels it menacingly at your chest, and slowly repeats the words he has spoken. If you possess the discipline of divination and wish to attempt to communicate telepathically with the leader, turn to 347. If you decide to raise your hands in surrender, or you're prepared to defend yourself. Well, I do have the skill, so I am going to attempt to communicate telepathically. Let's hope it doesn't take great offense to this. Let's see what happens. 347. You project a psychic message which proves successful. The leader acknowledges your contact and replies using mind language you can both understand. You tell him of your fall through the shadow gate and your flight from the storm, and in return, you learn that he and his brothers are Yakor hunters from the city of Yanis. Come, we will take you to our realm, he says, the words forming clearly in your mind. You must tell us of this journey to the beholder. He will divine its worth. He beckons you to approach his dragon mount, and you step forward, wary that this may be some sort of sex game. The thought of being left marooned in this wilderness is all you need to persuade you to obey his command. Is that right? Okay, fine. All right. 205. With a mighty screech, the dragon mounts take to the air in unison, the beat of their great wings filling your ears with a thunderous drumming noise. Your stomach heaves as the leader tugs at the reins. And then I say, hold on a second, leader. I'm just going to put my hoodie on. You know, because riding on dragons out in the open on a hellish landscape can be quite cold. Even if there is a fire in the sky on the horizon. All right. I've now got my hoodie on, so I feel capable of riding beasts. Apparently, no, there was no loot, although it implied that the scales were going to be useful, didn't it? But it didn't give me the option of taking them. The ground falls away at an alarming rate, and within minutes you're travelling hundreds of feet above the plateau. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Twice you lapse into sleep. At length, the featureless waves give way to thick violet-coloured grasslands, dotted with scab-like patches of marsh and bog. The air becomes humid. The faint smell of rotting vegetation conjures up memories of time spent in the Darnag swamp. Gradually, lowlands rise and soar above high valleys, broken hills and weather-worn crags. As you approach a narrow cleft between two mountains, peaks, the leader raises his hand. Upon this signal, the others close into single file. An immense crater lies beyond the pass, and at its heart stands a city, the most beautiful city you've ever seen. There better be a picture. Oh, okay, there we are. There is a picture. Let me scroll up a bit so you can all see it properly. There we are. This is the picture. Okay, well, that deserves The shining city of Yanis lies before you, rising in circular levels around a turreted citadel of sparkling crystal which dominates the vast alien metropolis. Constructed out of sheeted platinum, silver glass, and a mirrored steel, it reflects the light of 1,000 colours from its walls, windows, and huge conical towers, giving it the appearance of the splendour of a glowing sun. As the Dragon Mount glides over the outer walls, you feast your eyes upon a network of broad avenues lined with fragrant-like tree plants, squares with fountains, and huge silver bell-shaped dwellings. I mean, this is all really nice for some kind of like time vortex hell planet, isn't it? It sounds very civilized. Directly ahead stands the citadel. The leader signals once more, and together the Yokor land their winged steeds upon a glassy platform adjacent to one of the citadel's 5 circular watchtowers. Okay, that's those spiky things. There you are met by Yokor guards, resplendent in the armour of burnished silver, who attend to the Dragon Mounts with dutiful efficiency. The leader helps you dismount before dismissing his company and escorting you to a room in the watchtower. You will rest here, he says, using only his mind. I shall take word to the beholder, and he shall speak with you. Refresh yourself and sleep if you wish. He motions towards an adjoining room and leaves, the door closing behind him, seemingly of its own accord. If you wish to investigate the adjoining room, turn to 170 if you want to attempt to escape, and if you want to remain in this room. I'm going to go to the suggested room, because if I can sleep and regain my... Oh, hang on, I regain endurance every time I'm not in combat, so my endurance has actually gone back up to 37 anyway. So that's currently now at 37. Wearily you enter the room, noting that in spite of a lack of windows and torches, it is bathed in a warm amber light. The opulent glow pours from the walls themselves, illuminating a table set with colourful food and a huge cushioned divan standing beside it. The oversized Yokor furniture makes you feel like a small child exploring a dining table for adults, but your hunger soon quells your unease and entices you towards the table. You feel very hungry after your long flight and must now eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. Hang on, wasn't there food? Illuminating a table set with colourful food. Can't I? Oh, yeah, I could eat the Yokor food. Turn to 119. I think so. Should we try their food? I think we should. 170. And then we're going to... Oh, have I got the discipline of curing? Yes, I do. Let me turn to stat first. Your Kais tells you that the food is untainted. You cannot identify it. So, okay, I am still going to eat it. 119. Food has a taste and texture completely unlike anything you've ever had before, but you feel thoroughly refreshed and restored. There is enough food remaining for 1 meal. I will keep that. Thank you very much. So that gives my meals back up to 2. Okay, good, because I've still got 1 in my backpack. Turn to 139. All right. All right. You return to the first room and peer out of a tall window that looks out over the city. Far below, you can see the Yokor crowding an avenue which leads to an outer level of Yanis. They move with such purple from this great height. They resemble a vast community of worker ants. For several hours, you stare down at this beautiful alien city and its industrious citizens while you try to make sense of your situation. Eventually, you resolve to find out all you can from the one leader called the Beholder. Perhaps he will be able to help you locate the Law Stones. At length, you settle down to sleep. 317. Strong hand on your shoulder shakes you roughly from your sleep. The Beholder requests your company, says the Yokor leader, stepping back and motioning you to rise. You must come with me. Together with 6 attendant guards, the leader escorts you from the watchtower across an open courtyard paved with polished steel and into the entrance hall of the Crystal Citadel. There's a superb spiral staircase forms the central core of this stronghold, carved from a solid mountainous chunk of sky blue mineral unfamiliar to you. Sounds like I need dark glasses just to walk up the staircase. Stairs soar upwards towards the turreted roof, where the chamber of the beholder is situated. With ease the Yokor ascend, and you struggle to keep pace. You count over 300 steps before the staircase opens onto a silent hallway, where a massive door of solid ebony inlaid with gold fills an entire wall. A bell is rung, and while you catch your breath and wait for the massive door to open, you speculate on who the beholder could be. You imagine him as a Yakor warrior king, tall and strong, with a wisdom and intelligence beyond mortal reckoning. With this image in mind, you feel optimistic that he will aid your quest. However, when the black door finally swings open, your hopes are dashed. The sight of him shocks you to the core. Uh-oh. Turn to 93. Oh, okay. Is he the little guy with the brain? This is like Total Recall. Quaid. Cradled in the muscular arms of a Yokor lies the loathsome, stunted form of the beholder. His withered corpse-green body is no bigger than that of a human child, yet his bulbous head is enormous by comparison, far larger than even that of a giant who is holding him. Okay. Interesting. It wobbles and sways repulsively when he turns to focus his eyes on you. He's not that bad. Come on, Mal. Don't be mean. Like polished gemstones, these two black orbs glint in the flickering light of the chamber, their cold sharpness revealing the intelligent being that lies imprisoned within the crippled shell. Be not afraid of me, human, he says, using a language similar to your native tongue. I mean you no harm. My shape may not favour those of your species, but here in the Danarn you must be prepared to disregard appearances if you are to discern the truth. With a languid blink, he dismisses the Yokor leader and his guards and watches like a doting father as they descend the spiral staircase. Now, do I have the skill of divination? I think I do. Yes. Go to 291. Open your mind. Exactly, mate. Exactly, Kit. Yeah. You focus your skill on the beholder to try and fathom if his intentions are for good or ill. You sense he possesses immense powers, both physical and psychic, which radiate from his body like the rays of a visible sun. You concentrate on this power, but all you can discern is that he's capable of using it. Whether for good or evil, who knows? 152. Okay, it's not to be trifled with. Come, let me show some of the wonders of my realm, says the beholder as the great black door swings slowly shut. It is so rare that I'm able to entertain a guest. I would deem it an honour if you would accept my invitation. Well, don't have much fucking choice now, do I, mate? Says the Lance in reply. His politeness makes me feel uneasy, when I'm his prisoner. Yeah, okay, turn to 164. We shall see. He feels like he's an alien that's crash landed here or something. You walk beside the beholder along a corridor which leads to a vast circular gallery, and at its centre stands a towering bell-shaped vessel made of transparent glass-like material filled with a huge seething ball of fire. Now, that sounds like a UFO to me. Brilliant light illuminates some of the strange equipment standing against the walls and cluttering the tables, but little of its heat radiates into the room. You pass on until you come into another gallery, which is flooded with a shining steel-like gigantic mirror. Doomed roof is lost in the dim shadows, but at its centre you notice a tiny disc-shaped portal. The beholder glances at a row of crystals embedded in the wall, and they glow in response to his psychic commands. I am called the beholder, he says, his thin voice echoing loudly in the emptiness of the room. the dome even. I observe all that transpires in the Daznan. I saw your arrival upon the Zaim Plateau, and I know from whence you came. So few of your kind survived transference that I abandoned all hope of meeting you. Indeed, had you not met with one of my hunting parties, your bones would now lie, bleaching upon the sands of that arid plain. It seems you are, by nature, a survivor. Well, he knows me too well, doesn't he? Suddenly a swirling column of light appears, projected from the disc in the centre of the dome. It casts a pool of brilliance in the middle of the gallery and gradually widens until it encompasses the whole floor. Come, observe. Perhaps you will learn a new world. You will need to adapt if you are to survive here for the rest of your life. Hang on. Who said I was going to spend the rest of my life here? What's going on there? Okay, this all looks a bit... What's going on here? Look. The backs of Senus, Yanis, the shining city. It's non-earthly waters. It's some kind of map. Swirling light draws into focus upon the mirrored floor, and you find yourself surrounded by a spectacular cosmic image. At the centre spins a shadow as dark as deep space, populated with suns and myriads of planets that revolve around it. This microscopic universe is in turn surrounded by a ring of total darkness, and beyond that radiates four beams of differing colours, like the spokes of a gigantic wheel. Between these beams are many areas of light and shade, some running parallel, some in isolation, but all of them connected by a pale, shimmering mist. What you see before you... Oh, hang on. What you see before you is a tableau of our worlds, a light painted that depicts the universe of Aeon and its Saurian plane. Here among the suns and stars of Aeon is the planet you know as Magnamund, and beyond it lies the shadow gate through which you fell into the Daznan. Slowly the Yakor moves towards you, bearing his master with care, as he continues his monologue proudly. And in balance between the elemental strongholds of fire and water lies the Apaxial of Senos. This is my realm. I have to live it, shape it as I wish, and to populate it with beings who embody my ideals. Coldly, the beholder stares into your eyes, and you feel your body stiffen as he probes deeply into your mind. Now, hold on. I did not consent to a probe of any kind. I'm not saying I'm not up for a probe, but, you know, I like to be asked. If you possess the Magna Chi discipline of side screen, turn to 174. I do possess it. I just picked it. I think that's going to be a good thing. Okay. The unexpected speed and intensity of the beholder's psychic intrusion leaves you fumbling for defense. You've drawn your psychic reserves and managed to erect a thought wall to protect your nervous system, but it's too late to prevent the beholder from scanning your mind. Lose one endurance point. Okay, a smile spreads across his withering face. Okay, I think that's good. This dude is definitely Quarto. I see much in your character that pleases me, human. See, I told you he's an alien. You possess inner strength, honour, and fiery courage uncommon among the mortals of Aeon. Were it not for you, these traits, I would have no hesitation in ridding myself of you, for I will not tolerate the weak and not trustworthy in my realm. I have looked into your mind, and the reasons why you are here in the Daznan are known to me. The quests and struggles of Magnamund are of no significance to the Shining City, but there are those of this world who would rejoice to learn that the last of the Kai is here, if only to seek out and destroy you. For this reason you must leave Yanis, but I shall not send you away without guidance, for you have my respect. You all I can. Well, thank you very much. That sounds very satisfactory, I say to him. Oh my God, there's tons of text here. How much more of this voice have I got to do? Okay, well, you know, you guys are watching, so. The beholder deactivates the light picture and wheels his servant to carry him back to the first gallery. There, bathed in shadowless glow of the fireball, stands a huge globe of silvery metal As it approaches, it radiates an eerie fluorescent light, and symbols appear on the surface. The Lord stones into the shadow gate some moments before you fell. Is that not so? I confirm this to be the case, yes. There are many channels within the shadow gate that are warmed by the time and space. Usually, it's impossible to predict where an object passing through the snan will materialize, but the coordinates of your arrival are known, and this will help my calculations. Okay, very good, I say. So, can you tell me where they are? Approximate location, as reckoned by the timescale of your planet. The Lordstones arrived on Dasanian 41 hours ago. They materialized together and intact in the forest of the Card Trisect of the Zada, a realm situated between the elemental strongholds of earth and water. This bodes well for you, human. Does it? How's that? Zada is a temperate and stable domain, rich in those elements necessary to sustain mortal life forms. Also, there is one of great vision who has made this her home. Her name is Sakura. It would be wise to seek her help in finding these stones of power, for she is sure to know their whereabouts. Well, I don't know. I mean, that depends. How hot is she? If I'm gonna, if I'm gonna divert to meet this woman, she's got to be a degree of hotness. There's got to be there, Enough of your nonsense. Okay. Although his words revive your flagging hopes, you are still fearful that the Lawstones are beyond your recovery. The beholder senses your apprehension and tries to allay your fears by offering you a means of transportation for the realm of Vorda. He promises you that your passage will be swift, but when you learn what the journey entails, your blood runs cold. I guess I'm going to be riding a dragon. Is that right, by any chance? I think I'm going to be riding a dragon. Well, maybe it's teleportation. Let me grab some water here. Fortunately, there is a bottle with an easy reach. I've got to my tablets as well. Don't forget those. Keep the old blood pressure in check. This device is a dimension door that will enable you to pass directly into the realm of Sorda through a rent in the fabric of the Zan. A rent? Through a rent? Really? That doesn't make sense. You stare in awe at the sunlight ball trapped within the vessel and try to comprehend the secret sorceries that enable such a thing to exist. You'll come to learn that the laws which govern my world are quite unlike those which shape Aeon. Here, time and space can be manipulated by those with power enough to craft them to their needs. Okay, mate, fair enough, whatever you say. Step forward and enter. Your skin prickles and your stomach churns, but you fight to control your fear. You sense the beholder speaking the truth, and the grey portal does lead to the realm of Vorda. Okay, fine. So I go through the void, turn to 208. I'm not getting a lot of choices here. I'm just like going to another page, and then there's another page, and then that's my. I think I've only done like two choices so far. At the very moment you enter the dimension door, a sensation of incredible speed assails you. Blah, 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 blah. There's a grey cloud. You get a bit mad. Silent scream. I lose 3 endurance. Sudden lack of air, etc., and I've arrived in the border. Okay, so basically it's a teleportation device that costs me 3 endurance points. Seems a bit mean, but okay. So my endurance has gone back down from 37 to 34. And someone is texting me because I just had a load of alerts come through. It's my friend from Sweden. Okay. Currently live. Currently live on my channel. Okay, so from the brow of a grassy hill, you stare across the strange yet familiar landscape. Before you lies an expanse of verdant grassland with clumps of woodland, several winding streams. The warm air smells fresh and clean, and the distant sound of bird song is carried to you on a gentle breeze. Were it not for the grey, sunless skies above, it would be easy to believe you'd return to your homeworld. The sudden wave of homesickness makes you feel heavy-hearted, but you refuse to allow it to weaken your resolve. Too right. I'm tough. I'm tough. You scan the horizon in the hope of discovering some form of habitation. What am I, on a camping trip? I mean, surely I just want to get on and explore, don't I? So, have I got Hunt's Mastery? I don't know the level, but if I've got the skill, we're just going to say yeah. So that's 64. No idea what level I am. I'm going to have to resolve that. So, yeah, I feel like I'm going... I am going to need endurance points for her, for sure. Yeah, that sounds like that could be a long night. Yeah, where's the tavern? Using your guide skills, you focus your telescopic vision on the far horizon and see a group of shapes that resemble small pyramids of stone. However, you're too far away to tell if the structures are inhabited. A nearby stream meanders in the direction of the shapes, and you decide to follow it. Okay. Well, I guess I don't have much choice, seeing as you're not giving me any choice. Oh, look, a choice. Here we go. It's going to be one of those where it says, you see something really interesting. Do you want to investigate it, or do you want to carry on? Stream winds its way sluggishly through a moss glen to a thicket of red leaves, which stands semicircle around a pale grey botanic monolith. If you wish to investigate this strange thing from 2001: A Space Odyssey, turn to 275. If you wish to avoid it, turn to 53. So, guys, marry, shag, or avoid. What do you reckon? Do we want to investigate the monolith, or do we want to carry on towards the pyramids of Mars? What do we think? What do we think? Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Help me decide. Help me decide. Here's a quick clip of a Dalek to wake you up.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Doctor Who, and this is my time and space machine.
Okay, so what am I doing? Going to the monolith, or am I avoiding the monolith? Stay on mission. Yeah, do you know what? I've got a feeling most things in this world are going to be bad rather than investigate. I think you're right. I'm going to stay on mission. So we're going to go 53. All right. For countless hours, you follow the stream without seeing a soul. Strange in the knowledge that perhaps if you'd investigated the monolith, you would have got here somewhat quicker. You're beginning to suspect that this land is completely devoid of intelligent life when you happen upon a series of long level fields planted in precise rows with sweet-smelling yellow herbs. The path runs up from the stream to the brow of a hill. If you wish to stop and examine the herbs, go to 28. Or if you decide to follow the path up to the top of the hill, well, I'm going to do both, but I'm going to look at the herbs first. Now, I'm just saying, I'm not eating the herbs, I'm just examining. Yeah, okay, I do have curing, 129. Your Kai skill tells you that these are Senara, exceedingly rare on Magnemund, but in abundance here. The unripened buds of this herb have great restorative qualities when eaten, enable you to regain lost endurance. Each meal of Senara will restore 3 endurance points, and there are enough buds here for over 100 meals. Fuck me, yes. Well, okay, we're going to keep them. 100. Okay, I think this is their way of telling me you've got some shit coming your way. So I've now got 100 buds of Senara. And I can also use curing, which means, by the way, my endurance is already now back up to max. So my endurance is back up to 37. There it is. I could have just eaten one of my 100 buds of Shannara. Okay, one Shannara, 115. You reach the crest of the hill and stare down at the remarkable sight that lies beyond. Yeah, they're basically like Viagra, mate. They are the other world Viagra. A walled city of low pyramid-shaped buildings is spread along the centre of a narrow valley. Near the middle, rising high above the other buildings, stands a tower of stone, its colour identical to the drab grey of the sky. Its straight thoroughfares are thronged with hairy, ape-like creatures who pass freely and leisurely through the narrow streets. Wow, I think we've just gone to Planet of the Apes. The path leads down to an open city in the city wall, where two of its squat-limbed inhabitants stand guard. You are relieved to have at last discovered a vestige of civilization, and you set off for the city gate at a brisk pace. Can't I sort of enter the city more discreetly? I do possess animal control. As soon as the guards see you approaching, they shuffle inside and quickly shut the gate. Moments later, they appear on the battlements above. Turn to 325. Okay. Your Kai skill enables you to comprehend their curious language. They are demanding to know your name, the reason for wanting to enter the city of Thas, and they warn you that they will call out the city guard and arrest you if you do not give them the information they require. You tell them you've come from the beholder of Yanis and that you seek Sakura. Immediately upon hearing her name, the two guards order that the gate be reopened. Open the gate! The portal of grey stone swings back, and they beckon you to enter. As you pass beneath the archway, a dozen of their kind gather around you, chirping and twittering excitedly. That's because they're all on their Twitter accounts, you see. They're all on Twitter, so they're twittering. Come, says one of the guards, pointing to the tower. We will escort you to Sakura. Yeah, he actually laughs just like that. It says that in the book. 86. Okay. Now, I'm going to be in. If you wish to shag Sonora, let's see. Here we go. All right. In a frenzy of excitement, the citizens of Thas press forward on all sides, pawning and prodding. Your escort are hard pressed to keep the crowd at bay. And by the time you reach the tower door, your clothes are dishevelled and you are scraped and bruised. You lose 2 endurance points. Okay, at which point I will pause. I will say to the guards, please wait for a moment. I'm going to eat one of my seeds of sausage and just heal myself back up to my normal level. Thank you. And I will now rearrange my clothes so that I don't look like a complete oaf. With a loud grating rumbling, the stone door moves inwards and you're given into the charge of 3 bronze-clad ochre wardens. They usher you up a winding stair to a bare chamber, floored and walled with smooth stone slabs. Silently, a section of the drab wall moves aside, and silhouetted in the opening stands the tall, feline shape of a remarkable creature. I am Soroka, and I bid you welcome, Lone Wolf. Come and enter my chamber so that we may discuss your reasons for journeying so far to seek my help. Okay, I do have side screen. Let's turn to 311 because she's clearly trying to seduce me, I think. 311. You sense that Soroka is imprisoned in a cage of psychic energy which surrounds her chamber and prevents her passing through the opening. This energy is extremely powerful and has been synchronized to react to her brainwaves alone. To enter the chamber would cause you no injury, but if she ever attempted to pass through the invisible wall, the resulting release of force would be enough to destroy both her and the entire city of Thas. Fuck. Yeah. Sounds pretty deadly. There she is. So what do you reckon, guys? Is she your type? I'm not too sure about this. Cautiously, you pass through the opening and follow Soroka into a tall domed chamber that is supported by a circle of huge rose-vined marble pillars. At its centre stands a large table. From the ceiling directly above, a flood of light pours down, reflecting and refracting upon its crystal mosaic surface and bathing the chamber walls in a spectral of colours. "Take a seat, Lone Wolf." And she lowers herself elegantly into the seat opposite. You cannot but admire her beauty. Yeah, I mean, she's a 5. Her face has feline characteristics of a young lioness, yet her eyes and her youthful body are distinctly human, save for the soft, velvety nap which covers her flesh. Now, I nearly misread that, but let's carry on. She bears an aura that is powerful and confident, yet at the same time, she seems vulnerable and sad. "I've definitely done worse," utters one of the guards. "How do you know my name?" You ask, slightly unnerved by the familiar way in which she welcomes you into the chamber. "There is much I know about you. Your land, your fight against the forces of darkness who threaten to conquer it are but a part of the struggle which rages throughout the planes of existence. Yet it is your world and your fight that has become the focus of this conflict between the powers of good and evil. Upon you depends the future of us all." "What? No, how can this be?" you breathe incredulously. "There are those who seek to shape destiny and those upon whom destiny falls. Destiny has chosen you, Lone Wolf, and you cannot refuse it, or it will force itself upon you." I don't think I consented to that. "How have I become the focus of such a struggle?" I reply. "We are all part of it. The worlds of Aeon and Dasnan are shaped by the actions of those who exist there. Yet the time has come when the actions of one individual will shape the future of both worlds. Even that the actions of a smallest person can change the course of history. You are that individual, Lone Wolf, and your actions are destined to shape the future of every living thing." "But what if I refuse? What will then happen to the future?" "You cannot refuse, for everything you do is bound up with your destiny. Your vow to complete the Magna Chi quest and restore the Chi. Will you give that up? Will you forsake your country and its future security? Will you abandon Magnamun to the evil of the Dark Lords? No. By your very nature, because of your honor and your courage, you will act out your part." "Right, I see. No choice then, is it? What must I do?" "You must do what you have always done. You must listen to the words of those who will help you. You must let your skills and instincts be your guide." She leans forward and sweeps her hand slowly across the surface of the table. The light dims and patterns take shape among the tiny squares of crystal. "Observe and learn, for the images will impart knowledge that will aid your quest for the lore stones of your ancestors." Turn to 250. Yeah, we're getting this. That was totally, you're right, that was totally a destiny grape. I feel like that destiny proper grapes me. All right. The flickering pattern draws into focus and you can see a Penelope. Fuck, I've never heard of that word. The strange scenes and the faces of many unknown creatures, some human, some bestial, and some that defy description. Many of the events which have befallen your world are mirrored here in Dazan. We too are threatened by forces of darkness. Many ages ago we triumphed over evil, but our victory was incomplete. Now our nemesis has come in the guise of the Chaos Master. Everywhere his seething corruptions encroach upon the godly realms of Dasnan, twisting and consuming all they touch. The vision of battle fades and is replaced by a living map similar to the light picture you were shown by the beholder of Yanis. Here are the realms that lie between the elemental strongholds of earth and water. Once this region was rich and populous with creatures of light, but now it lies ravaged by the cancerous realm of paradox. Only Vazorda and Malorda continue to resist. The others have either disappeared into the Neverness or have been transformed into the desolate wastelands. Here, this is the Nagoth forest, once the most fertile of the great timberlands. Now the scourge of chaos splits it asunder, and here the plain of Gukor, the mightiest realm of the Daznan has ever known, reduced by dust, by a plague of fire-breathing Zenga. Tears well up in her eyes, and you sense that the vision of Gukor has stirred painful memories, but you're really getting a bit bored and you want to move on. If you wish to ask what troubles her, turn to 288. If you choose not to intrude on her grief, turn to 345. I'm going to make that decision, guys. What troubles you, fair maiden? It is the cruelty of the Chaos Master that saddens me so. Before his coming, the plain of Gukor was ruled by a great warrior called Sene, whose only fault, it was said, was a surfeit of pride. He loved me and wished for the union of our realms, but alas, his love was unrequited, because I was a mean bitch and didn't love him back. The joining of Gukor and Vazada was not to be. To win my love and to restore his injured pride, Sene struck a bargain with the Chaos Master, for in keeping with the paradoxical nature of the god, he is obliged to indulge in the granting of wishes to those who would dare demand them of him. The Chaos Master wove a spell to enchant me, and Sene was granted his wish. I became enamored with him. But the bargains of the Chaos Master are in keeping with his nature. They are cruel and fickle. Upon the hour of our wedding he appeared, and demanded that Sene pay for his wish by ceding him half his realm. He was refused, and in retribution he imprisoned me here in this tower, and wrought upon Sene such physical mutation that he fled Gukor and hid himself in shame. Right, well, that's quite a lot to take in. What became of him? He is a ruler of a new realm. He has gained his power, but his body is forever a cruel reminder of his pact with the Chaos Master. He is the one who sent you to me. He is the beholder of Yanis. Oh, that's her ex-boyfriend. Okay, so basically what you're telling me is all these problems have been caused by a woman who turned down a guy. So basically, if that hadn't happened, he would have gone to the bad guy to ask for his help in order to seduce you with various favors. So in other words, your rejection of him has caused all the chaos and darkness across the land that befalls us now, eh? Sakura blinks away her tears and forces herself to concentrate on the matter in hand. Very appropriate segue. Again, the image fades from the table and a new one takes its place. This is where the Lord's Sterns emerge from the Shadowgate. I detect their presence immediately, for the power they radiate is extraordinary. Where is this place? It's the Nagoth Forest. I knew she was going to say it was in there. Close to the border with Melador. I estimate the Lawstone to lie within a few hundred yards of Tolokos, the ancient burial ground of the Meldorians. Is this not good news? Yes, it is, but for the struggle now taking place in the region, the Meladorians are locked in a battle against the forces of the Chaos Master, who is determined to claim all of Nagoth for himself. Tolokos is but a few leagues from where the fighting is fiercest. Well, I better get off then. I need to retrieve the Lawstones quickly. Indeed you must, but it would benefit you naught if you were to reclaim them and then be unable to return to your homeworld for the lack of knowing where to go. Be patient a little longer, Lone Wolf, and I shall show you where, in all this vast region of the Dazan, you can find the one shadow gate that leads to Magnaman. All right, okay, this is all very interesting, but I feel like I'm being devoid of choices. Because I haven't had to turn to chat to help me pick a choice in fucking ages. The vision of the Nagoth Forest dissolves and a new one takes its place. It's of a city perched atop of a rocky cliff. Yada, 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 with a symbol of a fiery dragon. Okay, this is Haggadar. Once it was the home of the Sandai, the rulers of the Great Plains. They were the first to fall to chaos, and now their plains are dead and empty wastelands of sterile rock and poisoned sand. Haggadar was claimed by the Chaos Master, and it became his abode. But as his foul empire expanded, he grew tired of it and abandoned it for other, less remote cities. It lay deserted for an age before outlaws and refugees from Gukor sought sanctuary there from creatures of chaos. It's now a forgotten city, yet within its heart there lies a secret that even the Chaos Master failed to discover. The Sandai were guardians of a shadow gate. Long had they kept this portal while they search for a means to enter it. For unlike the shadow gates of your world, those of Dazan are now closed. Only those who possess a key can pass from this into the realm of Aeon. Okay, so Haggadar is where I've got to go to get home, but I've got to go to the Nogoth forest near the, whatever it was called, the city of whatever. Okay, right. Where is the key which allows entry to the shadow? Let me do that again. Right, so where's the key that allows entry to the shadow gate of Agar then? Where's this key? Sakura raises her eyes from the table and smiles. Power is the key, and power is now within your grasp. 2 law stones are the power. They are the key to escape from the you must retrieve them from Tolokos in the Nogoth forest and then go to Haggadar. Shadow gate is to be found in the Temple of Sandai at the center of the city. I can help you reach Tolokos, but beyond the Nogoth, my powers of vision grow dim. You must let your skills on this map guide you there. Okay, this map is quite tiny. Can we? Oh, there we go. All right, I feel like we're going to want that again, so we're gonna copy and paste that and open that in a separate window. That's why you don't get a map, isn't it, in the beginning? Okay, so hang on. So Ruins of Tolokos, right? Fine. The Goths, Chaos Zone. Oh, Haggadar. There we go. In the Sandai Wasteland. Okay, all right. Sounds like a proper ball ache to me, but yeah, I don't say that to the princess, obviously. Oh, hang on. Now I've gone wrong there. Right. From the pocket of her silken robes, indeed, she produces a map which she presses into your hand. You unfurl the parchment, study its contents, noting with dismay the great distance which separates the forest from the city of Haggadar. Turn to 238. Come, you must rest before your journey. If you are weary with toil and grief, that's my Galadriel voice. I shall arrange for my Ukor to take you there after you've slept and recovered your strength. Restore your endurance to its original level. Well, it's already at my original level because I ate a seed of Dudar, so I don't need to restore anything. Turn to 210. All right, I feel like I'm not writing all the numbers down here. 238. 210. I'll be having some water. It seems as if you've only just closed your eyes when you're woken from your sleep. That's pretty much what me going to sleep does feel like. The time has come for you to begin your journey, Lone Wolf. Quickly you dress. I have chosen Tuk Tuk, my most able, trusted Okor captain, and a company of his best Thas guards to escort you to Tolokos. He is familiar with the forest tracks and that of the Trisect, and he will ensure that you do not lose your way. Something tells me they're all going to be killed really quickly. Are they wearing red shirts? I mean, she brings forth a black box inlaid with sparkling gems and unlocks it with a star-shaped key that she wears on a slender chain around her neck. Take this, Lone Wolf, and keep it safe. It is the Star of Elindior. No, it's not. She says, handing you a pyramid-shaped obsidian seal. Okay, let me write that down in my action chart. Do not speak of your quest to anyone except the leader, Lockhorn Ironheart. Seek him out. In him, you can place your trust. Okay. Right, let me write this down. Obsidian. Now, I've got too many special items. I'm going to have to get rid of something. I'm going to get rid of the black key. So, obsidian. If I turn to a section in 5 minutes' time, it says, if you have a black key, turn to page 20. I'm going to be very annoyed. 211. She puts down the black box and gracefully walks towards a narrow exit from her chamber. In the room beyond, you see a stocky Okor clad in polished bronze armor. This is Tuktron. It's not Tuk-Tuk. Tuktron or Tuktron. He will be your guide. Creature brings himself stiffly to attention. Does he now? Okay. I'm honored to have been chosen. I return his salute. You will succeed. She kisses your cheek. You must succeed. Okay, let's say I succeed. Well, is there any chance of a date? I mean, what's happening? Okay, let's move on. Right. Okay, guys, we've got a choice coming up. You leave Sokora's chamber and follow Tuktron as he leads you out of the tower. Along a busy street towards the city's main square, 3 gleaming bronze chariots, each drawn by a team of strange horse-like creatures called Anipa, are ready and waiting to take you to Tolokos. With the Yokel captain, you climb aboard. The leading chariot, driver cracks its whip, blah, 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 goes out the city. 3 hours pass before you catch sight of a village on the road ahead. Tuktron grins and points repeatedly at his open mouth. You want to eat here, he says, shouting to make himself heard. If you wish to stop at the village for a meal, press 124. If you wish to press on to Tolokos without stopping, 258. Okay, so stop for a meal at the village or press on. Now, he says he put it as a question, so we don't have to eat there. I have to say, even though normally I like to explore and explore everything, in this adventure, I want to push on. So my vote is to push on, but what do the 5 people in chat say? Do you want to stop for a meal? So put meal in the chat if you want to stop, or just put push on if you want to keep riding towards Tolokos. What do we think, Kit? What do we think, Wormy? What do we think, other people? Meal. Kit wants to eat. Got 1 vote for meal. Okay, I'm going to wait for at least 1 other person to comment before I push on. So, oh, Naz. Okay, meal. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, so you guys have outvoted me. We're stopping for a meal then. I'm taking an awful risk, Vader. It's a better work. Tuktron slaps the driver's shoulder. Immediately, he hauls on the reins and pulls a lever which activates the wheel brakes. We head towards a thatched hut. You accompany the captain and his driver into the hut, stopping to enter the Ilka-sized doorway. The villagers seem delighted to receive you as their guest and ply you eagerly with food and wine. One of them, an elderly female with kindly eyes, hobbles to your side and places a deck of cards on the table. She is a teller of fortunes, says Tuktron. You want she tell your fortune, yes? Well, I feel like I ain't got much choice. So, let's say yes. Pick a number from the random number table. Awkwardly, she picks up the cards and shuffles them with Romanic hands before asking you to choose 3 of them at random. Okay. So, here we go. A 9. I mean, that's high. Turn to 224. Oh, this is what this woman looks like. I told you, it's Planet of the Apes. It's Planet of the Apes. You turn the 3 cards over and notice that a different symbol is depicted on each. The first shows a castle on a hill, second a dragon breathing fire, and the third a black serpent with red fangs. The old crone draws patterns in the air with a crooked finger and mutters to herself unremittingly. Tuktron leans forward and offers his services as translator. She say, you'll go to a castle far away where dragon breathes fire. In this castle is a snake. Beware this snake, for it's very poisonous if it bites you. You're dead. Okay, thanks for that. That sounds great. Oh, that was 224, not 24. 224. Wormy Spoon says I should say to her, fuck off, fag, and try and enjoy a nice port salut and a Chardonnay here. Well, I don't say that to the crone. Whilst you ponder the meaning of this nonsense, she retrieves her card from the table and shuffles away to help her daughter gather the empty food bowls. Tucktron swallows the last of his delicious meal and rounds it off with a hearty belch. We go now, yes? As your chariot pulls away from the village, the old fortune teller waves farewell, and you return her gesture with a smile. 117. Okay, we continue. So we got a warning about snake. A few miles beyond the village, the road leaves the valley and crosses an open expanse of grassland. Hours roll by. Slowly the plain descends towards a wide river, sluggish with sediment and flanked by tall green trees. A bridge spans the dark water and the road continues beyond towards a line of hills. The bridge is built of stout timber, but as you draw closer, you sense something is seriously amiss. I do have hunt mastery, so we're going to turn to 48. Someone sabotaged it. By magnifying your vision, you are able to see that the middle of the bridge is damaged. Many of the planks have been torn up and strewn across the surface at random, crudely disguising the gaping hole. You scream a warning to Tucktron, and he is able to halt the chariots just in time as they thunder towards the approach ramp. If you have the Magnified Discipline skill of Pathmanship, I'm not sure I've got the Pathmanship one. Let me just check that. I do not. So 196. Port Salut is soft French cheese. Yeah. No, I'm aware. Very nice. I do like a bit of cheese and wine. Trock and his driver jump down from the riding platform and run forward to examine the damage to the bridge. The other two chariots draw up on either side. If you wish to follow Tucktron and examine the bridge for yourself, turn to 182. If you choose to stay in the chariot and await his return, I'm going to await his return because I have a feeling that there's some kind of trap here. Suddenly, a chilling scream like the baying of crazed wolf pack echoes from the trees on either side of the bridge, and lumbering hordes of twisted shapes stagger from the shadows. They appear to be neither animal nor human, but a ghastly fusion of the two. This is my first battle of the book. The Ocal guards tremble with fear and whisper the word Agatha as the monstrosities hurl themselves at the chariots. A dog-headed creature with two mouths claws its way onto the platform and launches itself at your unprotected legs. Who says my legs are unprotected? The creature is immune to Mind Blast. Owing to the speed of its attack, reduce your combat skill by 3 points for the first 2 rounds of combat unless you possess the Magnified Discipline of Hunt Mastery. Well, I do, so I won't be reducing my skill. Thank you very much. Okay, so I think there might be a picture of these things in the back of the book. Let me have a quick look. Agatha, yeah, there is a picture. I'm going to show you guys real quick. Here they are. Yeah, pretty creepy, right? All right. Okay. So let's try. Now we're in the combat. So it's got a combat skill of 21, endurance of 31. My current combat skill, if I don't use the summer sword, is 24 with a bow, Yeah, 24 with a bow. Or 34 with all collective bonuses. Or 32 without Mind Blast. So I'll go for that one because it's much better. So we're going to go onto the combat chart, which is where, what have I done with it? Here it is. Okay, so if you look at this, so basically the combat ratio is worked out by the difference in combat skill. So I've got a combat skill of 32. This creature's got a combat skill of 21. So the difference is 11. So I'm rolling on 11 or greater. So on this chart, right? So if I roll 8, 9, or 10, I kill it outright. So let's see what happens in the first round of combat. I rolled a 9. It's dead. So I fire my bow, strike it in the head. It dies in the first round of combat. You put away from the dead Agatar in time to avoid the murderous leaping of a snarling dog-sized creature with its bear-like paws. It hits the ground, then leaps again and hangs on your arm. Tries to rip into your stomach. You strike a blow. Fuck all this. I killed it with my bow immediately. It still refuses to relinquish, sinking its fangs into your rib. Why have I got to fight it again? Oh, hang on. Is this another one? Okay, this is an Agatar Hound. Okay, right. So I lose 3 endurance from it biting into my arm. Fine. So that's down to 34. Okay. All right. If you win the fight and the fight lasts 3 rounds or less, turn to 254. Okay. If the weapon you are using to defend yourself is a broadsword, quarterstaff, or spear, reduce your combat skill by 2 points for the duration of the fight. Well, let's see what weapons I have. I have some sword, I have a bow, I have a broadsword, and I have a dagger. But if I use the dagger, oh, fuck it, I just use some sword. Okay, so it's like a difference of 9 instead of 11. So big deal. All right, so that means, don't need that page, do we? That means we're rolling on the 9 or 10 chart. Okay, so a 9 or a 10 will kill it immediately. All right. Okay, let's see what die roll we get this time. A 5. Okay, so a 5 is 12 damage to it, 2 to me. Okay, roll second round of combat. 4. So 4 is 11 points of damage. That's a total of 23, and I take another 2. And it's got endurance of 25, so I should kill it on this last thing. 10, it's dead. Okay, so my endurance is currently down to, so I lose another 4, so it's down to 30, I think. Where is it? Oh, it's there. Yeah, I need to put that at the top, really. Down to 30. Okay. All right. Turn to 254. So Tuktron runs to your side, his face and crystal sword splattered with the black blood of his foes. Hurry, this fight is lost. You go now, he snaps and points across the bridge to the hills beyond. A cursory glance confirms his grim statement. Only he and 2 of his guards remain standing. One fights left-handed, his arm swinging broken, useless by his side. The others, including all the Anippa, have been slain by the howling creatures of chaos. Reluctantly, you obey Tuktron's command. I told you these guys had red Star Trek shirts on, didn't I? You hurry across the bridge. whilst he and his brave Ocal guards fight to cover your escape. Not until you reach the first ridge of the hills do you look back at the bridge, hoping to see Tuktron and his guards are victorious. But your hope is in vain. All that remains alive at the bridge is a ghoulish grey horde of feasting Agtar. Dun dun dun. I need to go for a pee. Let me see if I can put some kind of entertaining video on. Yeah, this one will work. Okay, that's enough of that. Right, back from the toilet. All right. So it would appear, I mean, unless he dived into the water or something. 114. Okay, guys, we've got a choice coming up here. So chat, be ready with your response. Shocked by your encounter with the Agtar, you make your way deeper into the hills, skirting the road in favour of the wooded slopes which offer good cover. Yet you keep the road in sight, constantly to ensure that you are heading towards Tolokos. Your usual good sense of direction is vague and distorted, for in this region of Dazan, there are no sun, stars, or points of compass. The hours pass uneventfully until you reach a place where the road runs alongside a pool of crystal clear water, fed by a fast-flowing stream. 3 human-shaped warriors clad in armour are standing near the pool, scanning the woods while their shaggy black equine mounds drink their fill. Right, I do have one of these skills. So I'm turning to 150. I think these are probably good guys. Let's see. Your keen senses reveal that the 3 warriors are Meladorian scouts. They have been sent by their leader, Lorkhorn Ironheart, to meet you en route. Well, I really sense quite a lot just from to escort you. I do. I'll make my presence known to them. 189. Stepping out from behind a tree, you wave and shout a greeting to the 3 Meladorian scouts. Instinctively, they dive for cover, fearing an ambush, and one loses a bolt from his crossbow-like device strapped to his arms. Coming towards my chest. That's fucking brilliant. What was the other choice? If you wish to approach them under cover of the trees, turn to 330. Hang on. All right, let's see that again. Stealthily, you move, you can talk and speculating on what will come for you and your chariot escort. You notice that each warrior carries a small crossbow. The sight of these weapons, which can be fired in an instant, convinces you it would be wise not to startle them. If you wish to shout without revealing your position. Yeah, let me do that. I definitely decided to do that. That was definitely what I had in mind all along. Your words have barely left your lips before they are answered by a volley of bronze-tipped bolts loosened in the direction of your voice. 2 cut through the foliage and speed past your head, but the third is aimed lower and carves a neat notch from your thigh before disappearing into the ground. Lose 4 endurance points. Fucking thanks a bunch. So if I'd used the psychic power of this... Halt. Okay, they seem unimpressed by his judgment and refuse to lower their bows until you suggest that one of them looks in your pocket if it's proof of your identity they require. Okay, all right. Well, we'll go with that one. Scout removes the obsidian seal from your tunic pocket and studies it thoughtfully. Very well, he says, satisfied that you are the one that have been detailed. He pockets the obsidian seal, deletes it from your action chart, and motions you to approach his strange long-haired steel. You ride pillion behind the saddle, yet the creature's shaggy coat makes for a comfortable seat as the steel gallops like a racehorse along the winding hill road. Huge tree trunks flash past. Scouts leave the road and follow a smaller track which delves deep into the majestic timberland. They slow their pace, feeling safer now that they are back in familiar territory. You soon arrive in a clearing. Hundreds of Meladorian soldiers are encamped here inside a perimeter wall of earth and logs. A cordon of sentries patrols the wall. They are alert and nervous, scrutinizing every shadow. A wheeled barricade of sawn timbers protects the only entrance, and as you approach, it's pushed aside to allow you entry. A small log cabin has been built at the heart of the tented encampment, and the scouts bring their steeds to a halt near its front door. Quickly, they dismount and usher you inside to meet their leader. Okay, I guess I'm going to meet Ironheart. What's his name? 87. 207. Yeah, we've got a new tuk-tuk, indeed. So, let's have a look. Seated before you at a desk lit by tall candles, one set in each corner, are two pale-skinned Meladorian nobles. The flickering yellow flame glints on their fine, antique workmanship of their armor and exaggerates the shadows that play on their faces as they argue their strategies for an impending battle. On seeing you enter, the conference is brought to an abrupt close. One of the officers bows and takes his leave. The others beckon a scout to approach and the desk and make his report. Briefly, the scout tells of how they met you and what has become of your Okor escort. He shows the officer the obsidian seal given to you by Soroka before leaving the city of Thats. The officer clasps the pyramid stone in the palm of his hand and stares directly into your eyes. A tingle of surprise prickles your skin when you return his gaze, for you notice his eyes are misty blue, without whites or any obvious pupil. It's really good that I picked side screen because I've needed this loads. 159. A wave of psychic energy rushes through your mind, washing across your thoughts, searching for some sign of hostile intent. You retrieve. You resist the intrusion. Too bloody right. With a gesture of his hand, Lockhorn Ironheart dismisses the scouts, and you're left alone in his company. So you are the Anonian for whom Mistress Soroka would have me postpone the war against chaos. Let us toast to the success of your treasure hunt, and to your triumph over. Hang on, no, that's me. And to your triumph over chaos. Now, I don't know why I've suddenly become this kind of Cockney, but apparently I have. He smiles and sips the bit of vintage, and you regard each other with thoughtful curiosity. He has a youthful face, if you say so. His silver hair is a mass of silken threads flowing from beneath the rim of his ornate conical helmet to fan across his wide shoulders and thick vermilion cloak. But it is his eyes that fascinate you the most, for they are filled with knowledge and ancient wisdom. You talk at length about events that have brought you to the Nagoth Forest in the search of Lochon's help, and in return he tells you of the dangers you may face at Tolokos. Turn to 80. Okay, I still have my 5 comrades with me in the chat. You're amazing. From a gold-capped leather tube, Lochon produces a map of the Nagoth, which details the location of his encampment, the burial grounds of Tolokos, and the last known position of the Chaos Master's Horde. Now, hang on a minute. Let's have a look at this map again. Okay. Right. So we're kind of, that's where, that's the river. And so we're around here somewhere, I'm guessing. Kirby red line has been drawn diagonally across the map where scouts last sighted the Chaos Master's troops. You must leave as soon as possible if you are to be sure of reaching Tolokos before it is claimed by the enemy. This was drawn 3 hours ago. As the Chaos Master decides to advance, he is within 8 hours' march of the burial grounds. This means that in only the next 5 hours, you could be sure to find Tolokos unoccupied. I intend to march my army forward, hold Tolokos, but I await reinforcements and I dare not move until they arrive. Therefore, I'll provide you with a scout, and he knows the area well. He will guide you to your destination. The rest is up to you. Lorkhorn sends for a scout, a Meladorian called Odell. When he arrives, he suggests you visit the equipment tent before setting off through the forest. If you wish to take this opportunity to select some new equipment, I think I will. 267. Right, I'm going to add the arrows to my equipment chart because I've got 14 now. Arrows. Tent is full of weapons and provisions. When you say provisions, there's no food though, is there? Mind you, I've got those seeds of nosh or whatever. Okay. 285. Odo replenishes a quiver of bolts that he carries on his hip and checks that the crossbow he wears strapped to his forearm is functioning properly. Satisfied, he folds away its hinged bow arms and then slips a brace of throwing knives into the top of his boots. Are you ready? Yes. He leaves the encampment by slipping over the perimeter wall and quickly merge like shadows into the thick forest beyond. The giant trunks support a canopy of dense foliage that blocks out most of the light and keeps the forest floor bathed in a perpetual twilight. A carpet of moss muffles your footfalls, and the only foliage that grows in abundance is bushy velvet lichen patterned with orange-headed, tooth-sized growths. If you have the magnified discipline of securing, turn to 36. I do. I've got 99 buds left, I think. I've only eaten one. You sense immediately that the tiny orange growth of poisonous Ketor spore pods is swallowed. These spores are allowed to infect the bloodstream. The toxin can kill in a matter of minutes. Actually, yeah, I'll take a few Ketor spores. They could be quite very carefully. I'll take some. They could be quite useful. I'll get rid of the blue stone triangle. Got that many books ago. Right, 247. You're using your head cannon. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. Okay, the cool gloom of the Goth forest floor seems to continue indefinitely. Then you arrive at a place where one of the massive trees has fallen and torn a gap in the canopy of leaves. The gloom is brightened by a narrow column of light. That's Balin's Bough, whispers Odell. Just another league and we'll be at Tolokos. I don't have the pathmanship, so we'll have to continue. No. I said I picked them up carefully with gloves. Okay, so we're going to go 192. Uh-oh. This sounds dodgy. Do you know what? It's getting well cold here. Proper cold tonight. As you step into the pool of light surrounding the collapsed tree, you hear a faint tut, as if someone nearby were spitting an insect from their mouth. Fear stabs your heart. You recognize the sound at once. It is the firing of a blowpipe. Pick a random number. Okay, if you have the magnified discipline of Hunt Mastery, add 1 to this number. For every magnified discipline you possess above the first 3 skills. Oh, okay. Yeah, I do add 6, so I'm adding 3. Okay. Right. I'm adding 3. So let's roll a dice. Let's roll high, hopefully. And we're adding 3 to this number. We rolled a 3, so that means we have rolled a 6. 4 to 7, turn to 146. Don't like the sound of that. And I bet they're using those poisonous things. You dive behind the trunk, but you feel a stinging sensation as the blowpipe dark scratches the side of your neck. A wave of nausea churns your stomach and your throat becomes painfully tight. Lose 4 endurance points. Adele appears at your side, wipes the scratch with a handful of fungi. Swiftly, the frightening effects of the poison subside as the healing properties of the fungi take effect. If you wish to keep some of the Balin Bruff's fungi, yes, I do. I will definitely have some of that. Let's get some of that. Mark it on your action chart. Have a feeling that that is going to come in handy. I don't have the obsidian key anymore, so. Okay. Okay. Odell sits beside you, readies his crossbow, turns, fires into the canopy, sending a bronze bolt deep into the scaly belly of a guitar sniper. The would-be assassin, the creature utters a piercing shriek and tumbles to the ground with a dull, sickening thud. You compliment Odell on his bow skill. Well done, mate. That was very good. As he moves forward to search the chaos creature's body, turn to 178. Okay. Greasy grey body is naked, save for a loincloth. Blowpipe. Adele curses this dead spawn of chaos. He suggests that you head for Tolokos straight away. 185. Okay. Right, this is a big piece of text. There is a moment of cold fear when you first set eyes on the burial grounds of Tolakos. An eerie blue glow, cast by clumps of bacterial fungi, illuminates a mist that seeps from the tombs and the crypts of this ancient necropolis. Swirling vapour is contained by a wall which encircles the graveyard, although it is broken in many places where trees have displaced the mouldering stonework. With a weapon at the ready, you follow Adele through one such gap in the wall, which is overshadowed by a giant mausoleum. This is the vault of Cedron, whispers Odell as he clambers over the rubble. Old King Calon sleeps here. He removes a throwing knife from his boot, and with it tipsy points to the other funeral landmarks of Tolokos and identifies them one by one. This is the crypt of Julia. Over there are the graves of the faithful. There's Baylor's tomb. The Chaos Master and his minions have kept us away from here for nearly a generation, but Lorcan is determined to wrest it from him and restore it to past glory. Over there near the centre is the Grand Streptrica. That's where the bloodline of the Ironheart clan are laid to rest. You stare at this macabre building, and a powerful feeling electrifies your body. The Septrica is an imposing sight, yet it is not the grim splendour of its design that exhilarates you. You are ablaze with the realisation that somewhere here, in the Grand Septrica of Ironheart, lies the last 2 law stones of Naxator, the objects of your quest. Turn 300. Okay. What time is it? I'm going to go for about another 20 minutes. So we'll see how far we get. I must search the tomb, you say. I cannot enter, not clan blood. If you choose to go through that door, you must go alone. You sense that nothing will induce Odell to break his clan law. Are you going to wait? Yes, but search swiftly. Okay, good. All right. Go to 131. I wonder if there's a picture of this thing in the book. This place. Because at the back of the books, there's like a little sort of guide section. And you've got like pictures of some of the monsters. You've got pictures of some of the... You've got a picture of the Chaos Master. And a couple of different characters that I haven't met yet. There's another picture of that really great city that we went to. No, yeah, nothing. I thought there's not one of the graves location. The portal is secured by a massive metallic lock, and engraved into it is blackened surface is a quartered square. In 3 of the 4 quarters are etched symbols, but the 4th quarter, which is formed of a soft clay-like substance, remains blank. Your basic Chi instinct tells you that the symbols are a clue to a Meladorian code that unlocks the great door. By inscribing the correct symbols in the soft surface of the blank square, you'll cause the portal to open. Study the sequence carefully. Now, it starts off right with a triangle and a circle. Then the triangle becomes black and 2 circles are added, right? So if the 3rd one is, if that's the last in the sequence, in other words, if it's going clockwise around, the 4th one would be reverting to the original, I think. I might be wrong. Triangle and circle again. I do have divination, so let's see what that gives me. Your senses warn you that a powerful spell protects this portal. If you inscribe the wrong symbol on the blank square, you'll break the spell, and the consequences of which could be fatal. Fucking great. Below are shown 4 groups of symbols, only one of which is correct. One group. Well, I think it's B. I think it's B. So, okay, chat. Now, you've got to help me with this one. So I'm going to go back. Right. So these are the 3 squares that are visible. The 4th one is not. What is the one in the next sequence? Okay. So those are the ones that are there. I think if it goes, that goes dark, then one of these is added. One of these is then taken away. Then that goes to light. That's what I think. So, white triangle, 2 circles. Yeah, that's a good point. White triangle, 2 circles is C. I feel like it's B, but I feel Wormy might be right. And also 42 is the answer to life, the universe, and everything. So anybody got a different suggestion, or are we going to go with Wormy Spoon's C? It's either C or B. All right, let's go for it. A soft whirling noise emanates from inside the lock, and then silently and effortlessly, the great portal swings open. Wormy, well done! Are revealed to the eyes of an Annonian. Surge of damp air whips past you, sucked into the chamber beyond as the airtight seal is broken after many decades. Torches ignite spontaneously, and for the first time in its long history, the secrets of the inner sanctum of the great subculture are revealed to the eyes of an Annonian. Turn of 54. Well, yeah. Looks like Wormy was right. I was going to pick the wrong one there, so well done. You saved me there, guys. As the centre of the chamber stands the statue of a ploughed Meladorian warrior clad in battle dress with his sword raised in challenge. 7 closed caskets lie at his feet, with 7 more besides them, open and empty, waiting future generations of the Ironheart clan. Here you can sense the presence of the Lawstones more strongly. Your skin tingles and your pulse begins to race, but despite your reactions, you can tell they lie not within this chamber, but somewhere nearby. Behind the tall statue, you discover a narrow stair that ascends to a sort of circular portal in the ceiling. Close to the foot of the stairs, there is an arched door of sparkling blue metal. Now, this is one of those, if you possess the Summer Sword, whatever things. And last time when I possessed it, everything was much harder. So I'm just going to like conceal it for now and say, no, I'm not getting that out. I don't have that. So let's go to 221. You're dead. When your shadow falls across the blue door, it begins to vibrate and the surface becomes pale and cloudy. You watch in amazement as the seemingly solid slab fades and then disappears completely. Beyond the empty arch, you now see a magnificent sight, a treasure vault, stacked high with priceless artifacts of the Ironheart clan. If you wish to enter the treasure vault, turn to 7. If you do not, turn to 181. Well, that's tricky, isn't it? Let me hold off for a minute and not enter immediately, with the option that I might turn back later. Focus your concentration on the radiate power of the law stones, and your eyes are drawn inexorably towards the ceiling. Nothing stirs in these shadowy reaches, yet you sense the law stones are there. Then you notice the stair and the circular portal, and you realize they must provide access to the flat roof of the sculpture. With your heart pounding, you race up the steps, confident of finding the law stones waiting for you on the roof. Okay, yeah, the treasure seems, that treasure situation seems bad. 3, 2, 0, 2, 200. The lever operates the portal. When you put it, the circular hatch creaks open and a shaft of grey light washes over your head and shoulders. Your senses burn with expectation. You grip the rim and start to pull yourself through the hole. But a dark shadow and a cold wind sweep over you, making you flinch and fall back on the stairs. There is a loud crack, like a sharp clap of thunder, and then a terrible scream of agony echoes through the forest. Fear and anger grip your senses as you realize that you have just heard the dying scream of Odell, your guide. Enraged, you leap for the portal and pull yourself onto the roof, where the law stones and an unexpected enemy awaits you. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, all right. I think this is a good place to stop. I've obviously got this. There's the law stones. I've got to fight this creature. So we're at 200. That's where I'm going to end it for today, because I'm pretty tired. But thank you guys for tuning in with my quest to complete the Lone Wolf books. This is 11. I believe there are 32 books in the entire series. I have physical copies up to book 18. So I don't do these at any particular time. I just do them when I feel like I'm in the mood. Also, my voice has got to be functioning so I can do all the silly voices and stuff like that. But I hope you enjoyed that. It was a bit of a laugh, wasn't it? A bit of a laugh. Got to hear Lancey do some silly voices, which is always fun. So, yeah, that's it from me for tonight. I think I'm going to do a Chew the Fat tomorrow. I'm going to see if the person I'm hoping to do it with is available. I'm going to give them a ring now, so before I go to bed. So thanks so much for watching. Tune in tomorrow. It'll probably be around 8 o'clock UK time. I'm not 100% on that at the moment. But I'll let you know. Just keep an eye on the channel. It'll be there somewhere. So, yeah. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll speak to you soon.